Joining us now is our great friend, Senator Kevin Cramer from North Dakota, who I think likes this bill even less than I do, but I will let the Senator speak for himself. You're not a happy camper either, Senator Cramer.
Well, I'm not, Larry, and I haven't been like you for probably a year because, first of all, let's remember, a year ago when Chuck Schumer released this year's calendar, he put this week on the calendar. Why do you think he scheduled us to be here the week of Christmas? He did it specifically for this reason. In other words, this is a liberal strategy to push all of this spending on Republicans. And by the way, the payoff to Republicans from Chuck Schumer is, this 10% increase in military spending, which is very, very important, for sure. Some will tell you, and I think including Leader McConnell, that in all of the omnibuses we've ever had, this is the, quote, best one. I would say it might be the least worst one, but it's certainly not good. So the process stinks from the beginning, and you and I have talked about that, and we can again. But because the process has been jammed this way, we got this bill at 2 a.m. this morning, and we're going to be voting on it tomorrow probably. Because of that, I haven't read all 4,155 pages, nor has anybody else. You've found some nuggets relating to tax increases. That's a problem. We found a nugget because we're always looking at the EPA that there's a doubling of the EPA's enforcement dollars. Now think about that, Larry, in yours and my pro-growth American future. So I'm a no. I've been a no all along, largely over process, just like it was on last year's omnibus. It might be on balance better than other omnibus, but that's not the issue. The issue is we need to get back to the discipline of the institution that respects the chairman of the committees and the rank and file members, both the House and the Senate. But my sense is it's going to pass tomorrow with all the Democrats, maybe not even all the Democrats, but enough Democrats and Republicans. We'll see if it does or it doesn't. If it goes over to the House, of course, Democrats will pass it probably with very few Republican votes. And the good news, being the eternal optimist that you and I are, the good news is if that happens, and let's hope we can stop it, but if that happens, then Kevin McCarthy and the House Republicans get to start on January 3rd with a clean slate and a new fiscal year to start the appropriations process on and show us really what we're all about.
You mentioned, let me follow up on this. This may be less bad than other omnibus bills. Did these other omnibus bills have $100 billion corporate tax hikes in them? By the way, it's not all corporate. There's some individuals because of the IRAs. But I thought Republicans were against tax hikes. I thought Republicans ran in the midterms against Joe Biden's tax hikes, both the ones he got in the IRA bill and the ones he proposed originally in Build Back Better. So what are Republicans, senators, whoever, doing voting for a $100 billion corporate tax hike? I don't get that.
Well, just remember, none of these things in a 4,155-page bill are on their own. They're not siloed. It's one giant bill, thus the word omnibus, which is why the transparency of the process matters, why having 12 separate appropriations bills, each one identifying a topic within their own jurisdiction, is what's better for the members, it's what's better for the Americans, it's what's better for transparency all the way around. It's better for the institution of Congress. So while somebody that ends up voting for this bill might oppose that $100 billion in taxes, I wouldn't be surprised, but they counter that with an $850 billion very important national defense appropriation to fund all the priorities of the National Defense Authorization Act. That's the transactional part of this business. You don't get to just pick and choose the things you like the most or pick and choose the things you dislike the most. When I say on balance it might be more good than bad, I don't know that that's true, because I don't have time to read 4,155 pages, which is really that's the first point, and yours really is the second, third, and fourth point.
But look I'm just saying, okay, if you killed the bill, yeah, you would stop the defense, but you send it back to the House. Let it go. Let it go back to the House, and let the House draw up a budget. The House Republicans draw up a budget that properly funds defense. I'm all for that. I'm a defense hawk.
Sure.
Takes out the tax hikes, puts in a whole bunch of spending cuts. You and I, you think that all this $1.7 trillion of spending is absolutely essential, that we couldn't possibly do without it in American life today? You think? I don't think so. I would bet you that they would have a regular order exercise. I mean, I talked to McCarthy about this. I talked to Scalise about this. They'd go back, do a regular order under Republican budget jurisdiction, and then we can come out with a better bill and then give it to the senators. In other words, I'm just saying, this transaction, well, they give us more defense. The reality is we've given them far more non-defense than they've given us in defense. Far more. Go back several years. It's not even close.
That's what I was going to say. Yeah. In this one bill, you're exactly right, Lee. In this one bill, this is a 10% increase in defense and a 5% increase in non-defense. But remember, they've already passed $4 trillion of a wish list in budget reconciliation and state party process. You're exactly right. This is why I voted for Mike Lee's amendment last week on the CR, which would have given Kevin McCarthy the opportunity to get this bill and to start over, if you will, or build off of it or on it. But that amendment didn't prevail in the CR last week, so here we are with this omnibus, which is why I'm going to vote against it. It's also why I voted against the 1 week CR last week. Again, we deserve a better process than this. Now, at the end of the day, Larry, just remember, even with a House majority, when the House passes next year's very lean, much more responsible appropriations bills and sends them over to the Senate, the Democrats are in control over here, so they're not going to accept it just out of pocket. But then the negotiations begin in a bicameral, divided government sort of way that the founders envisioned, and we start swapping priorities, we start negotiating, we start transacting, but we do it in a manner that is obvious to the people of this country, so that they don't have to be suspicious of 4,155, have I said that it was 4,155 pages yet, bill, to be decided in 12 hours. It's a little bit of an obsession.
Senator Cramer, we need 100 Senator Cramers. I don't want to keep you any longer because you got 4,000 pages to read this afternoon and this evening. So I got to let you go. But you're terrific to come on the show and help us. And if I don't see you, please, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, season's greetings, the whole 9 yards. Thank you for everything, sir.
All the same to you, my friend. Thank you.
Great.